Hi, my name is Brittany Leanne Williams.
Emily Kuhn.
Jesse Stein.
Katya Schloman.
Joshua Brown.
Katie Ernst.
Will Liverman.
I'm a novelist.
Painter.
Ballet dancer.
Jazz trumpet player.
Double bass.
Play the violin, and I'm a Luminart.
Luminarts.
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 Luminarts fellow.
I'm an Luminarts fellow.
Next begins now.
Next begins now.
Next begins now.
Hello, I'm Katie Ernst, and you're about to hear a duet that I'm performing with my husband, who plays the tenor saxophone. His name is Dustin Lorenzi, and together we are playing a duet of a song with lyrics written by Dorothy Parker. It's entitled "I Wished on the Moon," so please enjoy our duet with the cicadas on our front porch. I wished on the moon for something I never knew. Wished on the moon for more than I ever knew. A sweeter rose, a softer sigh, an April day that would not dance away. I wished on a star and asked for a dream or two. I begged of a star and asked for a beam or two. I looked for every loveliness. It all came true. I wished on the moon for you. I wished on the moon for something I never knew. Wished on the moon for more than I ever knew. A sweeter rose, a softer sigh, an April day that would not dance away. I begged of a star and asked for a beam or two. Wished on a star and asked for a dream or two. I looked for every loveliness, it all came true. I wished on the moon for you.
Hi, Candace Jordan here. I just want to say how proud I am to be a media sponsor for tonight's event. You know, in the past, I've covered your events live and in person, which is infinitely better than virtually, but I still know you're going to raise a lot of money tonight to support your mission of helping young artists find their career in the arts. I also want to send a shout out to the co-chairs, Matt, Adam, and Kylie. I know you're going to knock it out of the ballpark. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Josh Brown, the 2019 Luminarts Fellow in Classical Music.
Hi, I'm Joshua Brown. I play the violin, and tonight I'm going to share with you Wagner's Albumblatt transcribed for violin and piano.
Hi, my name is Brittany Leanne Williams. I'm a painter and a Luminarts fellow. I would say that my work addresses a relationship between body and landscape, creating these surreal landscapes pulled from personal associations with places that denote home to me. Anything from my grandmother's garden to an area we lived for a couple of years. I'm really fascinated with this contorted back or this bent back. I'm thinking of the body twisting or breaking or snapping. Over time, I was thinking of this like urgent, tired form. And so for me, the bent back begins to speak to the woman's experience. She bends to pick up her children. She bends in tiredness, she bends in prayer. It starts to reveal how the woman bends on a psychological level or even through her labor. I often ask myself if grief was a place rather than a state, what would be the attributes, the geography, the temperature of that space? I think that is kind of the foundation of how I'm constructing these landscapes. I'm obsessed with red, so all the other colors are in response to whatever type of red. Painting is not efficient. It's not even really articulate when it comes to speaking to the times. But I think I paint for pleasure. I paint because it feels good, and it helps me reason with a lot of like negative, nonverbal experiences. I am mining personal experiences that surround me. In that, there is a communal pattern that takes place, and that does touch on the times. For me, on just a personal level in the studio, I'm trying to figure out how to regulate with pressure or regulate with something that feels bigger than yourself and trying to meet that new standard. It just so happens that that pleasurable act aligns or touches, a public, which is incredible. That's a privilege, that the personal might meet the public. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Mary Go.
And I'm Lionel Go.
As sponsors and host committee members, we want to welcome you to Next Begins Now.
We believe a vibrant and robust arts community is essential to any strong, successful society. By supporting Luminarts, we are helping to provide opportunities for young, emerging artists to pursue their craft.
In these challenging times, they need our support now more than ever. We hope you can join us in supporting these talented artists by making a donation to the Luminarts Cultural Foundation.
It is now our pleasure to introduce our next artist, baritone Will Liverman, the 2017 Luminarts Fellow in Classical Voice. Enjoy.
Hello, my name is Will Liverman, and I would like to share with you this evening Moonlight in Vermont, and we'll understand it better by and by, an old gospel hymn. Pennies in a stream, falling leaves of sycamore, moonlight in Vermont, icy fing waves, ski trails on the mountainside, snow light in Vermont, telegraph cables, they swing down the highway and travel each bend in the road. People who meet in this romantic setting are so hypnotized by the lovely evening summer breeze, warbling of a meadowlark, moonlight in Vermont. Telegraph cables, they swing down the highway and travel each bend in the road. Well, people who meet in this romantic setting are so hypnotized by the lovely evening summer breeze, the warbling of a meadowlark, moonlight in Vermont, you and I and moonlight in Vermont. been tossed and driven on the restless sea of time. Somber skies and howling tempests oft succeed a bright sunshine in that land of perfect day when the mists have rolled away, and we'll understand it better by and by. Church singing by and by, oh, when the morning comes. All the saints of God will overcome, and we are gonna tell a story of how we overcome, and we'll understand it better by and by. The trials are dark on every hand, and we cannot understand the ways in which God leads us to that blessed promised land. For He guides us with His eye, oh, and we'll follow until we die, and we'll understand it better by and by. Church singing by and by, oh, when the morning comes. All the saints of God will overcome, and we are gonna tell a story of how we overcome, and we'll understand it better by and by. Church singing by and by, oh, when the morning comes. All the saints of God will overcome, and will tell our story of how we overcome, and will understand it better by and by.
Hi, I'm Robin Velo. My husband Brian and I are proud to sponsor the Luminarts fundraiser for Next Begins Now. Emerging artists rely on support from entities like Luminarts so that they may continue focus on their craft. We are firm believers that the arts are an important part of community, especially during these difficult times. It's our pleasure to introduce our next artist, Emily Pogerelts, 2020 Luminarts Fellow in Classical Voice.
Les personnes Last we spoke, I was dancing in the studio company at Joffrey. That was an amazing experience. And it was during my last year there, I was given the opportunity to guest in the production of Swan Lake at Dresden Semper Opera. During my time there, I was offered a job with the company. I did some full-length ballets like Sleeping Beauty, Nutcracker, And we were going to do Don Quixote and the Four Temperaments and also Alice in Wonderland. I never would have thought I would have a dancing career begin in Europe. That went until March. COVID hit. Now I'm here at home, regrouping, training, teaching. At first, I was really discouraged. I was getting really upset. I think as artists too, we feel like a lot has been taken away from us. It kind of slowly sunk in, like I'm not alone in this. That in itself was helpful for me to cope with kind of what's going on.
This is not the year that I think anybody expected it to be. This has to be a time of something else.
I don't have many things to practice towards these days, so.
I struggled for a bit thinking like, okay, who am I without dance? Because that's all I do all day.
The arts and like many other industries are very vulnerable in this moment. To be receiving a grant, I'm in a highly privileged moment, and I do not take it for granted.
The money allowed me to be safe in a pandemic and devote that time to this book.
Luminarts has actually been very helpful in keeping me afloat during this time.
To be able to have the support of an organization like Luminarts that's really standing behind us artists in our time of need has been so meaningful.
It also provides like that encouragement and that moment of affirmation.
Being a part of the Luminarts Fellowship comes with this incredible ready-made community of past and present fellows that are about making art in Chicago and are about supporting each other.
I mean, that's why the support of people like Luminarts, it's so great, you know. They reached out and they, asked like, how are you doing? What's going on? And you're not alone in this. This is everyone.
It's this really long journey, and the most important thing is to keep going, and a foundation like Luminarts helps so much with all those aspects. I have more direction, I have more financial ability. It really just gives me the tools that I need to keep going on the journey, and it'll make me appreciate the concert hall even more when I come back.
I can't plan too much, so I can only do what I want and need to do in the now. But I think the thing is to stay inspired during this time.
So this song is called When It Rains, and it's going to feature Gustavo Martinez on drums, Evan Levine on bass, and my name is Emily Hugh. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go.
My name is Jesse Stein. I'm a novelist. Today I'm going to share with you a short excerpt from the first chapter of my new book called Mandrake, the story of a magical swamp where it rains every day except for Thursdays, and the two children that have to travel down the river to try to save their aunt's house. Eyes green like a chemical, with a long old face. Voice like a nematode, had a skin bag hanging off his back. Bag made of skin, I'm saying. Don't ask me what animal, I couldn't say, Donna says, as she works up a brick of snot to through her bottom teeth. We stand at the Hojo River, hiding out under the fingers of a willow, watching the brick refuse to sink into the water, bruised purple and swollen from the summer of rain. Was it hairy or smooth? I asked Donna, holding a hand out through the willow's fingers, judging how hard the rain was falling, judging how fast we'd have to run when we'd have to. Like a quilted skin bag, I guess. Some of both. Made me want to spit up. The brick bubbles and cuts through the current, caught hard between a half-drowned Ford Galaxy and an amphibious live oak, those trees who walk with stiff joints and aim to get lost in their wanderings. At least that's how Aunt Ginny tells it in their ghost stories, which always turn out to be true. And did you? I ask. Spit up, she says. You got some pale around your eyes, I say, taking one more bite of bologna before digging a grave and offering it to the catalpa worms. The back of my head blisters into an itch. Donna says I look like a mumbling vagabond, or a sheep allergic to shears the way my hair curls down to my shoulders. Sometimes, she says, cripe's true. You could lose a finger in that mop. I haven't cut it in a year and a month. It gives my hands something to do, that's what I like about it. Donna pulls out the pair of copper scissors she keeps holstered to the inside of her red rayon jacket. I scooch further away, fearing the day she had promised would come, when she'd hog-tie me good, slap a bowl over my head and give us matching haircuts. I flip the yellow rubberized hood over my head just in case, but that isn't what she's after right now. Donna sucks her teeth and takes great care in the ritual of clipping her fingernails into the river. She has a theory about resurrection that involves deep-sea toxic waste and the way that your soul grows out of your body. Black mole hairs, fingernails, knuckle skin. She calls it life insurance. Now, I don't know the particular magic that deep-sea toxic waste carries, nor do I necessarily subscribe to her family's clear-eyed claims of magical heritage. I mean, I'm 14 years old, and it's been a year already since I stopped stirring sugar in my coffee. If my ma wasn't sleeping under the barn's floorboards, if she wasn't wrapped in oilcloth with her Winchester Model 320 22 caliber bolt-action rifle strapped to her chest, she'd tell Donna to drop that nonsense. Donna's only 10. She's got hair like a trucker's beard and an underbite like an anglerfish. She likes to quote her mother when the occasion arises. Eminent domain, my flat ass, Donna was quoting her mother there. You know something true? Donna asked me. She calls her mother Aunt Ginny like everyone else. She's what you might call the head in development and distribution for Confederated Nonsense Incorporated. I watch while she snips the little pieces of herself into the river. It's a conspiracy is what it is, I don't need to tell you. Donna's been saying that for the past 40-some minutes. She finishes up her offering and slaps the clay mud off her knees. Nothing like what I've ever heard before, I say. But it's not surprising to tell you the truth, the way things been this summer.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sally Metzler.
And I'm Dr. George Deney. We are proud sponsors and host committee members of Next Begins Now.
We support Luminarts because we love opera, ballet, classical music, and we could not imagine a world without them.
And it's our pleasure today to introduce our next artist, Nicole Cabal, Luminarts Fellow in Classical Voice.
Congratulations, Luminarts.
Congratulations.
shores